I didn't expect to be doing a video right now. I was just doing this Deluxe Reverb reissue, and I wanted to make sure all the hardware was tight, so I removed the knobs. And underneath the knob for the volume here on channel 1, that nut was totally loose. These others look okay, but I bet they'll turn a lot. Let's see. Yeah. Nothing's tight. Straight from the factory, everything's fairly loose, and then you make the mistake of actually using the amp because it says Fender, and you think, well, they know what they're doing, and everything just vibrates looser and looser, and that's how you get broken solder joints. Anyway, I'll finish this up and let you hear it. This is not going to be a big video. All right, here I'm trying to replicate a little bit how I tested that Deluxe Reverb Tone Master at that Guitar Center a week or two ago. So this is a 65 Reissue Deluxe Reverb, where I have done my standard stuff, recapped, changed out the crappy filter caps, moved the heaters, fixed the hum on the reverb send, tightened all the hardware. Tightening all the hardware is a crucial thing. And I'm just gonna make sure it's sounding okay. And I don't have that same player's strat that they had off the wall at the Guitar Center, but this EJ with Kinman's ought to be pretty close. If you want to look at that, those are the pickup heights. I'm not hitting that wall. Does it have compression? Yeah. Amps compress. This is a Deluxe Reverb with the volume on 5. It's louder than a lot of people ever get to play these things. But it doesn't sound like I've got a Dynacomp engaged. And for all that pretty stuff, real soft volume stuff, it's all there. Sorry about the string squeak. It's kind of difficult to go from working on amps on the bench to playing a mini concert for the world, such as it is, without any warm-up. Back when I used to gig out, whenever possible, I'd warm up for 15, 20 minutes at least before playing. And, if I had a big gig coming up, I would do a lot of hours of practice the day before, the afternoon of, and I just go into all this stuff cold, and it shows. How's that go? For those wondering, this is not the stock C12K speaker. This is a warehouse I can't talk. This is a WGS warehouse guitar speakers ET65. Very popular speaker with a lot of my clients. This guy brought it in with it already in the amp, so he chose wisely. It and the Celestion Creamback 65 are just really fantastic for a lot of Deluxe Reverb players. Gives us a lot more low end than a 1x12 combo open back usually has. It's a little bit smoother on the high end, so if you use a lot of overdrive pedals, the amp doesn't get fizzy, which some Fenders from this era, or the replicas of this era, can do. And it's got a very full mid-range without it being boxy. If you want a more traditional big Fender sound, especially if you're chasing the sounds of the Vibroverbs and the Twins, but you have a Deluxe, then the G12C and the Alessandro can be nice. A little bit more of a glass to them. The Alessandro a little bit less than the G12C. The G12C is like a C12N. But remember that the Deluxes in the 60s would have had Oxfords of varying degrees of quality. They had a couple different models, and they were very boxy sounding speakers. Not C12K boxy, but the ET65 and the Creamback 65, I think, are big improvements. And some guys like the the Vintage 30, which is also a good choice. It has a little bit more of an upper mid thing happening, but it still has nice cleans and chime. So I'm calling this amp done. It's got a huge dynamic range. When I play this back, it's not going to have any limiting or compression on it. So when I play soft, you'll barely be able to hear it. When I play hard, it'll jump out at you. So, that's a representation of what the amp sounds like. It may not be the thing that you're used to hearing on YouTube, but those are the decisions I have to make. How accurate do I want to represent this to you, at the risk of someone listening to it and saying, that's not as loud as the other channels, let me find something else. Short attention span theater is a real thing these days. So I may play this a bit later for my own enjoyment. And you remember how my thirds go.